What's good, YouTube? It's your guy, Pop Off 93 Boxing and Sports. Back at you with another one. You already know. Uh, Demetrius Andrade, one of my favorite boxers. You know what I'm saying? Right now, he been at middleweight for a while, 160. He got one belt. I think he got the WBA, if I'm not mistaken, the WBO. But other champions there, they don't want to fight him. Like when he was at 154, Canelo Alvarez ducked him. Had one, Canelo Alvarez at the time had 3 belts. Only needed one more belt to become undisputed at 154. But chose not to fight Demetrius Andrade. He moved up 2 weight classes to fight the guy that Andre Ward fought, Kovalev. He fought Kovalev, Canelo. He ducked Demetrius Andrade to fight Kovalev. Don't ask me why. You know why. Politics. He was scared to take that L. His second L, because the first L, he got that ass whooped by Floyd Mayweather. He was embarrassed. And guess what? Guess how Demetrius Andrade boxes. He's taller than Canelo Alvarez, longer arms, rangier, and guess what? He's a slick black fighter. Brown skin, really. We're not black, we're brown skin. Different shades of brown, but he's a slick boxer. He moves. He got the jab, he stick the jab. The type of fighters that Canelo Alvarez has a problem with. Like when he fought Laura, he couldn't touch him. He hate fighting those kind of fighters. Anyway, he ducked Demetrius Andrade. At 160, Munguia got a belt. Jaime Munguia been Demetrius Andrade's mandatory for 2 or 3 years. Refuses not to fight Demetrius Andrade. The other sanctioning bodies, the people that he got, the belt that Munguia got, they won't force him. Nobody is saying nothing about Munguia being Demetrius Andrade's mandatory for 2 or 3 years. They won't force him to fight him. That's at 160. 160, Triple G, another person that got a belt. They will not force Triple G to fight Demetrius Andrade for unification. So, point blank, period. All of the guys at 160 that got that's belt holders, will not fight Demetrius Andrade. This guy is really, literally the boogeyman. He's the boogeyman. Like, these guys are scared to death to fight Demetrius Andrade. And the guy, Demetrius Andrade, he's a great boxer. He has punching power. But he's not an all-around knockout artist. Now, he's not Deontay Wilder. He's not Tank Davis. Every fight, he don't get knockouts. But he has respectable punching power. These guys just are scared to fight him because they know they can't beat him. This guy's just that talented. You know what I mean? He's a bigger Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? And that's giving a lot of credit to Demetrius Andrade. But I see it because these guys are that scared to fight him. You know what I mean? So Demetrius Andrade, he decided to drop his belt at 160, move up to 168 to be the mandatory for Canelo Alvarez. He's chasing him down, chasing Canelo down. But guess what? So the winner of Canelo next fight will be Demetrius Andrade's mandatory, supposedly. But I know Canelo Alvarez, he's a cheater, he's a drug cheat, and he's a ducker. And he uses his cash cow, A-side, he uses it to force people's hand, to not force them to fight mandatories and stuff like that. They even created a franchise belt to make sure Canelo Alvarez don't have to fight mandatories. This guy is a spoiled brat. Canelo Alvarez is a straight up female. A girl, a straight bitch. The nigga, I already know. Soon as Demetrius Andrade becomes Canelo mandatory again, Canelo Alvarez is going to refuse to fight him. He's going to make up an excuse like what he said before when Demetrius Andrade rushed his press conference, crashed his press conference. You won payday? You won payday? You're a horrible fighter. So if he's a horrible fighter, Take his belt. Why you ain't take his belt at 154 to become undisputed, Canelo? If he's a horrible fighter, the guy's like 30 something and oh, he's never lost before. Just beat him up. If he's a horrible fighter, just beat him. You know who was a horrible fighter? Your sparring partner, Avni Yildirim. That was a horrible fighter. But guess what? You picked him to fight. You've been cherry picking your whole entire career, and they allow you to use steroids. The WBC president, Mauricio Suleiman, upped the computer limit. Just for you, Canelo Alvarez, because you're the cash cow. You're the $50 million paid Latino-Mexican fighter. Viva! That's why they do it. Because you're such a draw when it comes to casual fans with that snow white, pink face, skin complexion, that they'll do anything you say. And you know that. Just like you know you got the right to remain silent. Anything will be held against you. That's you, Canelo Alvarez. But guess what? You can't run for long. You can't run. Your even the fans that like you and worship you like a god, Canelo, Canelo, Canelo. He's the best. Those guys are gonna start to see that you're a cherry picker and you're a duck, and you purposely avoid brown skin fighters, slick boxers that know how to fight, that could box, that's not scared of you, that will go toe-to-toe, meet you in the middle of the ring. Kind of like what Triple G did. Remember that first fight that you lost and they called the draw to Triple G? And you ran around the whole ring? Remember what you said? You said Floyd Mayweather, he runs, he moves, he boxes. You did this. You looked exactly like Floyd Mayweather in that Triple G first fight, Canelo Alvarez. You ran. You was on a back foot the whole night. And Triple G was pressing. He said, I thought we was going to fight Mexican style. But no, Canelo Alvarez, you was running. You didn't want to get hit. That man was punching your face off and you lost. But guess what? The judges are always paid off for Canelo Alvarez. The referee are always paid off for white-skinned fighters. You know what? So they called it a draw in favor, so Canelo wouldn't lose for the second time. Then they fought it. They got Triple G was able to get a rematch with you, and I thought that fight was a draw. That was a draw to me because you decided, Canelo, not to run that fight. You stood your ground a little bit more. You counted a little bit better, but it still was a draw. Like, he won he won 6 rounds, you won 6 rounds. It went the distance. But they called that fight in favor of Canelo, and then Canelo been ducking the third fight. He's scared to death to fight Triple G, like he's scared to fight Andrade. He's scared to fight David Benavidez. He's scared to fight the Charlos. Canelo, is there anybody that you're not scared to fight? That's a great fighter? Not these C-level, B-level fighters. I'm talking about the top of the echelons. Not a small fighter that's smaller than you, Canelo. A fighter that's your weight in your weight class. Fight those guys. Stop ducking. Canelo, stop ducking. You have the advantage. You're on steroids. They allow you to use steroids. Fight these guys. You have the advantage. You're on steroids. For God's sake. Man up.